Thanks, John. The sun will be going down a little while, but the lights are on here in Goodyear as the Dodgers get set to play their first evening game in the Cactus League as they are hosted by the Cincinnati Reds. And hi again, everybody, along with Rick Monday. I'm Tim Neverett. Kirsten Watson will join us in just a little bit. Been a big week for the Dodgers, no doubt about that. Tuesday, it started with a Shohei Ohtani home run and in his third at bat. And then yesterday, we saw Yoshinobu Yamamoto make his debut. 16 strikes on 19 pitches. He was awesome.
Yeah, it's a good year. The Dodgers are playing and a good week indeed. And for Ohtani, the third at bat, as Tim was saying, this ball just continued to carry, going the opposite way. So Ohtani, yeah, he gets on the board very, very quickly, but that's not all that took place this week because on the mound yesterday, Yamamoto, 19 pitches, over 80% strikes that he was able to thing, and we saw everything. We saw the fastball, we saw the changeup, we saw the splitter. And smiles, yeah, a lot to smile about over this big week for the Dodgers in Arizona.
Out of third base tonight, Chris Taylor. Max Muncy hit by a pitch yesterday, so Chris will get the nod at third base tonight. Kirsten Watson has an update on Max Muncy.
Yeah, Tim. So yesterday, Max Muncy, after the game, he left, decided to go have an x-ray just to make sure that there were no broken bones. When he left the game, we were told that he did have a left-hand contusion, and the x-ray results have come back negative. Today, he's still dealing with a little bit of swelling. No matter what, Chris Taylor was going to be playing at third today, so it was going to be a down day for Max. But the hope is that he's going to resume baseball activity and get back out on the field soon, guys.
All right, thanks, Kirsten. It's another debut night as left-hander James Paxton. Big Maple, he'll make his Dodger debut against Graham Ashcraft. It's the Dodgers and the Reds coming up.
At Honda, we've chased down a lot of dreams, each one leading to the next.
Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Carl's Jr., where our signature Charbroiled burgers are always the star. Sun beginning to set. Beautiful Arizona sky on this last day of February, the leap day, February 29th. Reds and Dodgers. Mookie Betts getting set to lead off. We look at the Dodger lineup brought to you by your Lexus dealers. Jason Hayward will bat second. Will Smith and Teoscar Hernandez. James Outman in center field. Chris Taylor at third. Gavin Lux batting seventh at shortstop. Chris Owings will be the DH, and Kevin Padlo back out there at first base in this ball game. And Graham Ashcraft, who the Dodgers actually drafted out of high school, but he ended up going to college instead and was picked up by the Reds. 26 starts a year ago, went 7-9 for Cincinnati. Opponents at 265 against him out of Huntsville, Alabama. Went to Alabama, Birmingham, and Mississippi State. So Ashcraft, the right-hander for Cincinnati.
Ashcraft coming off of toe surgery. In fact, he was cruising along last year. He had a streak of 12 consecutive games and an ERA barely over 2.5. And then, for whatever reason, injury to the toe, had the surgeries. And this is his first time out. He says he's fine. And for the Cincinnati Reds, they are hoping he is indeed fine. Good fastball. He gets a lot of ground balls and double plays. 21 DPs last year.
Well, the Reds did improve quite a bit last year. In 2023, the Reds won 20 more games than they did in 2022. They were 82 and 80. They had won 62 the year before. That's a big jump in any one season, is a 20-game improvement, especially when you're rebuilding and when you have a young team like Cincinnati. They're hoping that this core group will grow together and do some damage in the National League Central Division. In the meantime, Mookie steps in, getting set to get this one underway. Mookie, 39 home runs last year, career high. He's done pretty well so far in these February games. And we are underway, says Mike Malinsky, the home plate umpire. 6:05 the start time here in Arizona. 5:05 on the West Coast. It's just a very cool evening. Light jacket weather here tonight. 1 ball, 1 strike. Seen Mookie go the opposite way a couple of times so far this spring. He's been using the whole field. 2-1. Well, one of the things, Rick, we've heard him talk about is the postseason and how he feels, I don't know if the word is pressure or not, but he feels a responsibility to do better in the postseason, and he seems pretty locked in early here in spring training.
Also issued by Freddie Freeman during the game with Kirsten a few days ago about, the disappointment of postseason after the buildup and a lot of victories during the regular season last year.
Mookie down on strikes. A little bit of movement on that pitch. Mookie goes down. There's one away.
Well, Ashcraft better on the road last year. ERA 3.68. At home, it was over 5.5. Of course, that's a home run friendly ballpark. And playing in Cincinnati.
It's one of the friendliest. Jason Hayward breaks his bat, fouls it off. In fact, you want to talk about home runs allowed in certain ballparks. Washington allowed the most, 235. Colorado, you figure, is going to be up there, 234, and then 222 for the Reds.
For Ashcraft, gave up 23 last year. 15 of those were at home.
One strike to Jason Hayward. This will be his 3rd appearance in the spring. Breaks another one. Rolls it to De La Cruz. And the shortstop throws him out. 2 gone, top of the 1st.
Tough beginning for Jason Hayward. 2 pitches, 2 broken bats.
You got to figure one of them is going to die a winner, but neither one did.
In a road trip, short one like that, you're not bringing that many pieces of lumber with you either.
He might run out of bats. He'll say, okay, let me go get in my car. I'll drive back to Camelback Ranch and
not that far
and get some. Will Smith with 2 men out, nobody aboard. Just underway from Goodyear. This facility shared with Cleveland. So the Guardians also play here at Goodyear Ballpark. Nice little park. And the pitch. That's it for a strike.
So Ashcraft throws that slider a lot. Throws the cut fastball a lot too. In fact, there was only one pitcher in baseball that threw a higher percentage of cutters than Ashcraft. That was Corbin Burns.
Smith, a bounding ball, and there's Ellie De La Cruz. And the Dodgers are done in order. 10-pitch inning for Graham Ashcraft. He's off to a good start. Fraley, De La Cruz, and Candelario coming up for Cincinnati against James Paxton.
This spring is the
Brought to you by your Lexus Steelers. Jake Fraley will lead off. De La Cruz. Jamer Candelario at third base. Spencer Steer is in left. Tyler Stevenson. Then Christian Encarnacion Strand. Mike Ford, the DH. Stuart Fairchild is in center. Tony Kemp, the second baseman. And now Paxton ready to throw his first pitch in a Dodger uniform in a game. And ball one outside. Last year with the Red Sox, 19 starts. He went 7-5. Struck out 101. And he fires a strike in here. Jake Fraley, 256 last year.
One of the guys who was injured because Fraley platoon mostly, also served as a DH, but he had wrist and toe issues in and out of the season.
Fouled a long way out of play. Still a ball and 2 strikes to Fraley. Paxton out of Ladner, British Columbia.
He was good with that elevated fastball last year. How good? Well, how about a 200 average against the elevated fastball? Elsewhere, well, not the same. But with 2 strikes, he was able to put away over 70% of the batters he faced.
Elevates that one.
Yeah, they were talking about putting him away with strikeouts.
Yeah,
there are only 2 guys that had a higher average than that in baseball.
he puts him away here. Well, Fraley down on strikes, 1 down.
You talk about it and you see it. Yeah, Alcantara with Miami, Miller with Seattle. The only 2 guys had a higher percentage of strikeouts with 2 strikes than James Paxton a season ago.
Paxton had a little trouble with a hamstring strain, some knee inflammation last year. And Ellie De La Cruz, who debuted against the Dodgers last year. Remember, in his first at bat as a major leaguer, it was in June in Cincinnati. He hit an absolute missile to right center field. He does it again here. Hayward will cut it off, and De La Cruz has a base hit.
One thing about De La Cruz, he did just about everything. Played 98 games last year. And you notice that's not as high of a leg kick. They have really they think they found a remedy to eliminate some extra strikeouts, not lifting that front leg quite as high during the stance.
Now, De La Cruz, he can fly. And here is Jamer Candelario off the end of the bat to right field. And in the blink of an eye, De La Cruz is at third base.
The Reds have some speed. De La Cruz with 35 stolen bases last year. Thrown out 8 times, but boy, he can go to first and third with the best of them.
Crossed him a bat.
Oh, looks like he's running indoors on the boards.
Well, the Reds with a first inning threat, first and third, 1 out. And here is Spencer Steer. Takes a strike.
Steer was infield. They want to move him to the outfield where he is tonight, that being in left field. He had 38 starts in left field last year of 123 games.
Boy. 1-1 to Steer. Steer, born in Long Beach, makes his home now in the suburbs of Denver, Littleton, Colorado. In the air to left. Drifting back on it is Teoscar Hernandez. He'll make the catch, and De La Cruz will walk home for the game's first run. A sacrifice fly for Steer, and it's 1-0 Cincinnati.
Well, the Reds are looking for something a little bit different. You know, they were in the hunt. They wound up a couple of games shy of going to postseason. Their opening day on the 28th of March at home against the Washington Nationals.
Tyler Stevenson, the catcher. First ball swinging, fouls it away.
Tim, I think Jonathan India is not in the lineup tonight. He's nursing a couple of issues with some aches and pains, but he came out and said, talking about the Reds, says we're electric, we're fast, we're always on base, we steal bases, and we create havoc.
That's the way to create some runs. Manufacture them and put pressure on the other team's defense.
He also said, and I quote, we are going to get the division championship back to the city.
So there's a prediction.
Then he wanted to say, and he borrowed a tone, if you go back to the 70s with the great big red machine, he goes, we're coming.
Paxton deals low. But, you know, look at the division, right? Who's going to win that division? That's a tough division to predict, the Central. You know, the Cardinals had an awful year last year.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned that the Reds improved by 20 games in the standings, but they wound up 2 games short of making it to postseason play.
The Cubs would be pretty good. Pirates look like they've improved in terms of some of the people they've signed. Stevenson fouls it away. 2 balls and 1 strike. Big maple, James Paxton. You can see the maple leaf on his forearm. He's got it tattooed. We'll get plenty of opportunities to look at it. Expected to go about 2 innings. There's a ground ball to Mookie Betts, and he will toss the short way to Lux, who just gets there in front of Candelario. 1 run on 2 hits. And after 1, the Reds up 1-0. Lead off for the Dodgers. Reds up 1-0. Top of the 2nd inning. Along with Rick Monday, I'm Tim Neverett. Kirsten Watson with us. Glad you're with us. Tuned into the telecast tonight, no matter where you happen to be watching from. Here's Teoscar Hernandez, who could turn out to be a very, very solid right-handed power bat for the Dodgers this year. Like left field tonight. He'll be followed by James Outman and Chris Taylor against Graham Ashcraft, the Reds starter. When you look what he's done in terms of home runs, every season since 2018, he's hit at least 22. Not counting the shortened season in 2020, but in a full season, he's hit at least 22 homers.
He has a quick, powerful swing.
1 ball and 2 strikes. I think when you look at his numbers from last year. They might not blow you away, but got to keep in mind too, he played in a huge ballpark. I mean, T-Mobile, it's not exactly a hitter's park. And sometimes a change of scenery when you call another park home. Maybe Dodger Stadium's a little bit more friendly to Teoscar. That one's outside. Full count, 3-2. At home last year, Hernandez hit .217, but when he was away from T-Mobile Park in Seattle, he hit .295. So hit much better on the road than he did at home last year. Payoff pitch coming from Ashcraft. And he struck him out. One gone.
Jim, you were mentioning at game time 74 degrees. It's going to get down a little bit chilly tonight. However, current temperature in downtown Cincinnati right now 38.
Take this 9 days of the week, right? Well, Outman, he's had a short bout with the swing and the miss this week. Hoping to put that behind him. Ashcraft working out of the stretch. 1 ball and 1 strike to James Outman.
James Outman, problematic last year, seemed to be the elevated fastball. At what point in time is it a strike or just a little bit too high? Like that pitch right there, and that seemed to be, well, where is the top of the strike zone anymore? And I say that not in a kidding way. It's a legitimate question.
1-2. That's in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, that's an interesting question because I know we were on a call today about what might be coming next year with the
with Major League Baseball
with measured strike zones. There's a lot of conversation about that today.
And I say that, I ask a now retired umpire, I said, where is the top of the strike zone? And he says, well, if you stack 3 baseballs on top of one another at the belt buckle, that's where it is. And I said, well, that's normally called high.
3-2. Walked him. Dodgers have their first base run.
That's a good at bat. You go from 1 ball to 2 strike count to get the walk. You laid off a couple of pitches.
Good at bat for Outman. Earns his way aboard. And Ashcraft getting ready to face Chris Taylor. Taylor at third tonight. As Kirsten had reported earlier, Max Muncy hit on the left hand by a pitch yesterday. A surprise. X-rays today negative. So Chris handling third base here tonight. Long foul ball. 1 ball, 1 strike to Taylor. Facing a guy in Ashcraft who really had a tough start last year. And it wasn't just April, it was May and mostly June too. When you look at what Ashcraft did through late June, he was 3-6 with an ERA over 7.17. After June 24th, settled down a bit, had a winning record of 4-3, and shrunk that ERA after the 24th of June to 2.58. To center field, and waiting for it was Fairchild. 2 down. There's Gavin Lux now. Gavin back-to-back starts at shortstop. Gavin says he's just happy to be back out playing baseball again. What a tough year it is when you have to sit out in rehab for the whole year. You've done nothing your whole life but play baseball, and you're used to the schedule, and all of a sudden you're physically unable to do it. And it really, it's got to take a toll mentally. You really have to figure it out, and he did.
Well, it's a big shock to younger players too, because for the most part they've never really sustained an injury of any consequence. And it's agonizing to be on the sidelines. But again, you know, there are no shortcuts in rehabbing. And he had considerable surgery in reconstructing the knee. And the good news is he's back and appears to be 100%.
3 hits out of 11 tries this spring. Backed him up for ball 2. 2-1.
For Lux also trying to get back in the swing of things and not to be a play on words at the shortstop position. You know, we saw him make an awkward throw yesterday on what really should have been a routine play, and then the throw was wild over at first base. But getting back into the feel of the game, that's the other part too. You can work and do all kinds of things and get studies and work with coaches. Acquiring the feel for the game, that's why it's imperative that Lux is healthy and able to play now in spring.
2-2 with Outman at first. That's up, and now it's 3-2, and Outman will run. Ashcraft has been living up in the strike zone and above it so far in the first couple of innings. In fact, he's had a full count on 3 out of the 4 hitters this inning, and there's a little chopper. Ashcraft will have to field it with his glove. He flips it onto first base and gets Lux. So the Dodgers will leave a man. We'll go to the bottom of the second, and the Reds up 1-0. Check out the largest selection of official jerseys, caps, t-shirts, collectibles, and more. Gear up with your Dodgers at MLBshop.com. Well, batter for Cincinnati, Christian Encarnacion Strand, the first baseman. 270, 13 home runs, 37 knocked in last year. And Paxton deals him low, 2-0. Paxton went to the University of Kentucky and was a first-round draft choice at one point. And kind of a story there. The Toronto Blue Jays took him in the first round. Him being Canadian, probably excited about the opportunity to get drafted by the Blue Jays. Well, it didn't work out. The negotiations broke down. And he said, well, I guess I'll go back to Kentucky. And upon his return to Kentucky, the NCAA said, well, wait, you can't play. You need to do a few things, check some boxes off paperwork wise. And it turned out it was just taking too long, and he wasn't going to play for Kentucky anymore. And ended up leaving there, going to the Independent American Association and pitching for a team known as the Grand Prairie Air Hogs. And he's got a strikeout. That's number 2. So Encarnacion Strand is out. Mike Ford, the DH, coming up.
So I've never seen an air hog.
No?
No. You?
Well, he was in uniform as an air hog.
Okay.
No, I don't think I've seen an air hog real life. Ford takes a strike. But yeah, so anyway, he was drafted the next year in the 4th round. He dropped to the 4th round and Seattle drafted him. You know, we've seen guys get drafted in the 1st round a couple of times. I know, you know, former Dodger, current Met Phil Bickford was like that. He got drafted a couple of times in the 1st round, and there's always a reason why you don't sign, one reason or another. Oh, good pitch. He went up, and Ford swung right through it. 3rd strikeout of the game for Big Maple.
Well, that elevated fastball, and especially the lefty, you come up and in on that pitch. And again, last year Paxton elevated pitches on the fastball. A 200 average was all.
So now Paxton will face the center fielder, Stuart Fairchild. Strike 1 delivered. Really important for the Dodgers and Paxton to make sure this goes really well. Gives the Dodgers another left-handed starter. They are expecting a left-handed starter back later in the summer by the name of Clayton Kershaw once he recovers fully from the offseason shoulder surgery. Fairchild couldn't hold up. That's a strike. Ball and 2 strikes to Fairchild. 2 down, nobody on. And Dodger fans getting their first look at James Paxton. Lefty winds and deals home low. Ball and 2 strikes.
Up, Pax.
Well, Paxton sends the 2-2 pitch to the plate on the outside corner. Got him. Called strike 3. And Paxton strikes out the side. He got Encarnacion Strand swinging. This high fastball cut on and missed by Ford. And Fairchild with a good seat.
Did we just get hustled? There's no.
Well, they're having the breakdown meeting in the dugout. Pretty good. Great way to finish tonight for James Paxton. 4 strikeouts, 32 pitches over 2 innings, no walks. Did allow a run on 2 hits, but all in all, fairly solid, especially that 2nd inning. Well, top of the third, new pitcher Alexis Diaz, the right-hander, 71 appearances last year for Cincinnati, facing Chris Owings. Owings tonight batting 8th and is the DH. Strike one. Diaz, fastball, slider, changeup. And Owings, a veteran, both majors and the minors. Been around for a while. And getting an opportunity in Dodger camp.
Wonderful insurance policy, knows how to play the game from a fundamental standpoint. He's already hit some balls hard.
Last year with the Pirates, with the Orioles the year before that, Rockies, Red Sox, Royals, Diamondbacks. Fouled off to the right. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Owens. Now, last year only 11 games with the big club in Pittsburgh. He spent most of the season in AAA Indianapolis. Gilbert, South Carolina. In fact, he was headed to Columbia to go to the University of South Carolina, play baseball for the Gamecocks, but he was drafted in the first round and he went to the Diamondbacks instead. Here he strikes out, so the 1 down in the top of the third.
Well, nothing new for Diaz. You start to look at the strikeout rate last year, facing leadoff hitters in an inning. Nobody in baseball struck out more than Diaz did, leading off an inning.
He's tough. Kevin Padlo, first baseman. Yeah, and how that can change the complexion of an inning when you get the first guy out all the time. That's such a big deal. It's like in a regular count, getting strike 1 as opposed to ball 1. It just changes things dramatically. Slider, 1 ball and 1 strike. Padlo 3 for 9. One of those, in fact, his first hit of spring training was a home run against the Padres over in Peoria. Chased one downstairs, and that slider's got some movement on it. Ball and 2 strikes to Kevin Padlo.
The Reds like some of the young arms that they have, both from a starting rotation and a couple of guys that loom large in the bullpen.
Padlo fouls this one way down the first baseline.
You know, the young pitchers in this rotation, Hunter Green, Ashcraft, we just saw him. Look, Nick Lodolo. But they missed a combined, those 3 missed a combined 15 months with injuries. Of course, every team is saying, you know, if we can stay healthy.
1-2 pitch. Hanging in there, fouled over the first base dugout. Padlo, like Owings, another veteran. He has been in the big leagues with several clubs. Came up with the Rays, with the Mariners. Had a handful of games with the Giants. Also with the Pirates. Last year, 3 games with the Angels. Spent most of the year in Salt Lake in AAA. He strikes out here. Alexis Diaz gets him. And there are 2 men out. Mookie Betts heading to the plate for the second time. Here is Mookie. Struck out swinging in the first. 0 for 1 tonight. Diaz kicks and fires home, and that's inside. Now, Mookie was 11 years old. His uncle, Terry Shumpert, was signed by the Pittsburgh Pirates, who at the time had their AAA club in Nashville, Tennessee. And that's not too far from where Mookie was in Brentwood. So his cousin, Terry's son, would get in the car and they'd go down to the ballpark. And Mookie, at age 11, was hanging around the AAA park in Nashville, learning baseball that way. One ball, 1 strike pitch. Now it's 1-2.
Well, there's been some strikeouts, 5 in a row if you look at both sides. 7 total in the game. Had some of the Reds organization come up and say before, said, hey, by the way, if you think the lights are out, no, they're not. They're on.
I was just going to ask you if you think the lights are a factor.
Well, in the outfield on the warning tracks, I realize you're not going to illuminate everything. It's difficult to do it. It's a spring training complex, and it is what it is. But the cameras are showing, it's like watching a golf tournament. Late rounds, you say, well, it's darker than it appears on camera. Well, it's a little bit darker than it appears right now.
Got good cameras.
Great cameras.
Diaz 1-2. Slider down and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. It's the first night game. Guys have been
absolutely
primarily working out in the mornings.
It's a slightly different animal.
Got to get used to it again. And again, slider, swing and a miss. Strike 3. Diaz strikes out the side. 3 up, 3 down for the Dodgers in the top half of the third.
Spectrum Sportsnet LA.
First impressions of James Paxton as a Dodger pretty good, especially his second inning of work. He went 2, allowed an earned run on 2 hits, struck out 4, including the side in that second inning. But, the elevated fastball, which he's known for, was working for him. Put it on display against Mike Ford. Ford couldn't handle it.
Oh, he worked all quadrants of the strike zone, changed speeds also.
Tony Kemp to lead off, number 9 hitter, second baseman, against Alex Vesia, left-handed reliever. 56 appearances out of the Dodger pen last year. Talking about elevated fastballs, that is one of Alex's specialties. Gets a good majority of his strikeouts on the up fastball. Former Oakland Athletic, Tony Kemp. Vesia's pitch. That's outside. It's a pretty young team they've got here in Cincinnati. In fact, the oldest player on the field is the third baseman, Jeimer Candelario. He is 30 years old. He's all of 30, Mo. Can you believe that?
Yep.
They are a young club. They did add some veteran players, even though they're still in their upper 20s. They try to round out a roster and improve again. We told you before they had a 20-game improvement in the win column last year. At 82 wins in 2023, and 2022 the Reds had 62 wins. But they've signed guys like right-handed pitchers Frankie Montas and Nick Martinez. They got some pretty good lefties with a lot of experience. Emilio Pagan, Brent Suter. I think Suter might be the old man on the team now. Kemp pops this one up right side. Padlo giving it a look. And this will be up into the seats. But to give you an idea of how young this Reds team is, last August, at all 4 infield positions, Cincinnati started rookies for the first time since 1909. They've been around a while, this organization, since the 1800s. And a foul tip, strike 3. Vesia reached back and got him. That's 4 straight Reds to strike out now.
And since 1882. And for the Reds last year, Boyd caught on and said, hey, look, let's go watch the Reds. They drew over 2 million for the first time since 2015. They had 10 sellouts. But they last won a division title in 2012.
Jake Fraley is 0 for 1. He struck out first time up. Now you think of that 2012 team they had. They had a very good pitching staff. Johnny Cueto, Edinson Volquez. Pitchers like that. They were good. Very good.
Well, this Reds team, they're an interesting team. And I agree with what Jonathan India was saying. They came to spring training the first week and says, yeah, we're electric, we're fast, we're mobile, we're on base, we steal bases, we create havoc. And that was their calling card last year.
Vesia's 1-1 to Fraley. Foul tip for a strike. Again, young legs. That's the thing. They had an infield that averaged 22 years and 293 days. Ellie De La Cruz, of course, the shortstop. And third baseman Noel V. Marte. Matt McLean, who had a really good year. And then Encarnacion Strand, who is at first base tonight.
Well, they added another dimension last year. And their manager, Buddy Bell, or make that David Bell, the son of Buddy, it's 3 generations. And David, in his 6th year at the helm of Cincinnati, began to see some bunts.
1-2 pitch. Got him. Well, in the ball game combined, that is the 8th straight strikeout. And it's the 5th straight Red to go down.
Pretty good pitch also by Vesia. So getting back to the bunts. Of course, the Reds the last 2 years have hired a former Dodger to come over. Dave Roberts knows all about it because Roberts was a very good bunter in his career. Brett Butler has been in camp. And all Butler had was 245 bunt hits in his career. Jonathan India also had a comment about Butler. He says Brett Butler is 66 years old and he's still the best bunter in Major League Baseball.
I don't doubt it. That's a skill, and he was so good. He probably still is good. De La Cruz is striking the knees.
It rubbed off because they used the bunt as a weapon. You know, at 22 they had 12 sacrifice bunts. Last year they had 19. Friedel on the Reds had 17 bunt hits a season ago.
1-1. A little bit up.
But I love that comment. Brett Butler is 66 years of age and he showed how to bunt. He said he's 66 and still the best bunter in major leagues.
Well, we're seeing the stolen base come back. Why not the bunt? It's a weapon. It puts pressure on the defense. You got guys who can really handle the bat. You need a base hit. Why not?
And you don't have the shift on anymore. I'm still trying to figure out why bunts were not laid down with the shift exaggerated when they're giving you a bunt single even on a bad bunt.
You know, when we first started seeing the shift, I thought we'd see an epidemic of bunts. I thought we'd start to see more and more players, especially left-handed here.
Didn't really see it. But here's the other part too, is it is bunting, and I realize is it, you know, the game changes. We've talked about the rules change. The game changes. The emphasis changes. It's more on bullpens now, relievers, and coming out really in tough situations. Use the bullpen.
Cruz watches this one low.
But is bunting something that is even taught with all the different organizations? around baseball because the importance of it, because it's looked at as sometimes you're giving away an out, and outs are very precious. You don't get 27 in a regular 9-inning game.
Payoff misses low and away, and De La Cruz is aboard. Dangerous guy to have on the bases with nobody in front of him.
Third baseman, Jamer Candelario.
Jamer Candelario, remember him from the Tigers mostly. Jamer was born in New York. And when he was 5 years old, his family moved to the Dominican Republic, and his dad opened a baseball school there. And so he got to work out quite a bit.
It paid off.
It sure did. And he still plays there occasionally in the Dominican Winter League. No balls and a strike. Ellie De La Cruz held on by Padlo at first. This kicks away from Smith, and De La Cruz, with his speed, he knows he's got second easy, but he's got to look for a carom. He's usually thinking 2 bags on a pass ball. How can I get to third?
Well, that ball looked like it hit the plate, the edge of the plate, and took kind of a weird hop. Will Smith was down to block it.
Seems like he gets down there in about 9 strides, doesn't it? One pitch, way out high.
Well, with his speed, there's no reason to steal third base. There's nobody really that close to him as the pitch was made to home plate. I mean, with his speed, he can score on anything but maybe an infield base hit. Betts a little closer now, but he will back off, and there he goes. He'll back up.
2-1 on the ground is short. Lux is there. He bobbles it and gets it to first too late.
Well, Lux, he's only had 2 balls hit to him. A throwing error yesterday, and this one bobbled. And he just wonders, and look, he looks like he's just trying to rush, fielding the ball and throwing it.
So Vesia is going to have a meeting on the mound, and he's going to get an early exit. That was ruled a base hit, we're told. 1-0 Reds, 2 on, and 2 out, rather.
My French toast.
Minor leagues, Rancho, Great Lakes, and Tulsa. OA, Advanced A, Double A, 34 games. 3.79 ERA. They have made a scoring adjustment and ruled that play in error. The ball that was hit to Gavin Lux. So Candelario reaches on the error by Lux. 1st and 3rd. 2 men out. And Spencer Steer is the hitter. Long Beach native. Long Beach, great high school player in Southern California. And he is going to be heavily relied on this year by the Reds. '23 home runs last year. Pitch outside by Lau. Soaring over from minor league camp. One of the just in case guys tonight, and he's in there because a case came up where Vesia was victimized by the error. He started off well. Vesia had the 2 strikeouts, and then the walk to De La Cruz, the wild pitch, put him at second. And Candelario bounced one to short that was misplayed. So Vesia leaves the ball game, and Soren Lau trying to finish things up against Spencer Steer. There goes Candelario, but a swing and a miss. And a nice job by Lau to get the strikeout. Nothing across for Cincinnati. Still 1-0 Reds. Heading to the 4th inning in Goodyear. The first 40,000 fans in attendance at Dodger Stadium March 30th receive a Freddie Freeman bobblehead presented by Bank of America. For tickets and information, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. 1-0 Reds with Rick Monday, Tim Neverett with you, Kirsten Watson with us as well. First night game of the Cactus League portion of the season. TJ Antone out of TCU, Mansfield, Texas. Grew his hair out since last season, that's for sure. 12 games in AAA and had a handful with the big club in Cincy. Jason Hayward leading off, and he'll take a strike. So we're seeing a bunch of strikeouts in this ball game on it. Maybe it is the adjustment to playing at night. It's not seeing it as well as they had been seeing it for the last 3 weeks. Well, Hayward didn't have a problem with that one.
Evidently, they just turned some extra lights on.
I guess so.
Maybe.
You measure them in what, lumens? So they discovered how many lumens each bulb has. 0-2. He waves and strikes out. So Antone starts his night with a strikeout.
He just turned the lights off.
He must have burned out.
13 of 19 outs via the strikeouts in this game combined.
I mean, the pitchers and catchers are getting a good game of catching here so far tonight. Will Smith knows about that. He grounded out to De La Cruz at short to end the first inning. 0 for 1 for Will. We've talked about this a couple of times already in the first week of games, but you know, Will Smith, just by where we think he's going to be in the batting order regularly following Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, and Freddie Freeman, he'll bat fourth. And he drives this one towards center field, and over there to get it is Fairchild. He hit it squarely, but Fairchild caught up to it, 2 down. But Will should be able to pick up, you know, more RBIs than he probably has ever had. I mean, he get a chance to hit behind Freddie Freeman with Ohtani and Betts before that. That's got to be a great spot in the batting order for Will.
Mentioned the other day, is it Max Muncy and then followed by Will Smith. Both of those players, the 2 highest total number of at-bats with runners in scoring position in baseball last year. So now you mix in Ohtani along with Messrs. Betts and Freeman, and then is it Will Smith and Max Muncy, or Muncy and then Will Smith?
Teoscar Hernandez fouls this one back.
That's a nice problem for a manager to have.
It really is. You know, the Tuesday, I think before the game, it was when Dave said it really hit him when he got to write Ohtani's name in the lineup for the first time.
Yes.
He'll do it again tomorrow.
It's called depth.
Yep. Shohei's supposed to be in the lineup tomorrow, we understand, tomorrow night against Cleveland. That'll be at Camelback Ranch tomorrow night. Same time as this game, another night game. Kike Hernandez expecting to be in the lineup tomorrow night. Just acquired by the Dodgers. And Dave Roberts had said earlier today when Yoshinobu Yamamoto is going to pitch next. That's coming up. Well, Hernandez down to third. That is picked up by Candelario. Gets it there in time. The Dodgers done in order in the top of the fourth. 1-0 Reds here in Goodyear, Arizona.
Now.
1-0 Reds, bottom of the fourth inning. Landon Knack expected to go multiple innings tonight. AA, AAA last year, Tulsa, Oklahoma City, 22 starts, 5-1, 99 strikeouts in 103rd inning, so almost even strikeouts to innings pitched. Dodgers put him on the 40-man to protect him from the Rule 5 drafts, and that's going to mean something for him. And he's had a good spring so far. Very good debut this spring. Facing Tyler Stevenson, who grounded into a force out that retired the side in the first. Pitch low and away. Landon Knack. Johnson City, Tennessee. velocity picked up last year. 2 years ago, he had to fight through some injuries. And one of the biggest things that helped him last year was just being healthy. I think that goes for any player, as long as you're healthy.
He runs it up there with pretty good velocity also. Coming into camp, in fact, he pitched last Friday against the Padres, and after the game, he said, look, he's working on the curveball and the grip of the breaking ball as well to begin with.
Got a strike there and filled up the count on Stevenson. Yeah, in that game against the Padres too. This is his debut last Friday. 6 up, 6 down, 4 strikeouts. An impressive start. Outside ball 4, and he walks the first man he faces tonight, Tyler Stevenson. Mentioned just before the break about Yamamoto's next outing, but I wanted to pay that off because I didn't tell you when it was. Wednesday against the White Sox. That's what Dave Roberts had said earlier today. Again, Ohtani back in the lineup tomorrow night over at Camelback Ranch against Cleveland. Christian Encarnacion Strand struck out swinging in the second. Throw to first base, runner back.
Another guy in this lineup that has some pop. 67 games in AAA, 20 home runs. He got the call up to the big league level right at the All-Star break last year.
And the pitch fouled off. Well, he's got a good velocity fastball, pretty high octane four-seamer, right around 96. He can get it around there. Oftentimes it's in the mid to lower 90s, but he can run it up to around 96. So a slider, a change, and a curve. Swing and a miss. Encarnacion Strand finds himself in the hole, 1-2.
Also, last year, just 2 games at the big league level, but he'd been there for 4 games the season before.
Outside. Well, now he's an old pro after those games. He had the experience. He gets it. And I think for a lot of players, tell me if you agree, when you get that experience for 1 or 2 or a handful of games, it really can motivate you in the offseason because you've had a taste of it. Now you want to get back there. I know that happened to James Outman. We had that conversation with him last year, that 2 years ago when he debuted, and then he wasn't put on the playoff roster. He was a man on a mission that entire offseason, and then he had the spring training of his life last year, made the opening day roster, never looked back. And he's going to look back right now as he's trying to find the ball in the midair, and that ball is high off the wall. Coming around third is Stevenson. He'll score, and into third with a run-scoring triple is Christian Encarnacion Strand. It is 2-0 Cincinnati.
Well, Knack trying to find that strike zone and trying to find the corners on the payoff pitch, the breaking ball on the 3-2, but left it out over the plate. Mentioned it. Encarnacion Strand has some power, and boy, he flexed the muscles there. 4-10 to straightaway center. And for first base, Stevenson could tell there was no chance to make the catch.
Now Mike Ford, a strikeout victim, first time up. Fouls this pitch back, 0-1. I mean, that ball was close to a home run too. The yellow line that signifies the boundary out there was just above the ball when it hit the wall, 410 feet away from home plate. Outside corner for a strike. And right out there, just above the gate. Two-strike pitch, so a bounding ball. Mookie Betts plays the high hop. Run's going to score. It's 3-0.
Really, for Betts, that's the only way he could have played it. It would have been a dangerous play, a hard play, had he tried to charge it, because you don't know if you're going to get the short hop, you don't know if you're getting in between hop. That's why reading the ball off the bat is so important.
Landon Knack delivering a swinging strike to Stuart Fairchild.
So the Reds here in this inning, they get the walk, then the triple, and a payoff pitch, a 3-2, and then a ground out right side of the infield and cash in a run.
Fairchild in the air, right center. Over there with plenty of room is Outman. He'll put it away. That's the second out.
Second baseman, Tony Kemp.
Now Tony Kemp will come up. Kemp trying to make sure he solidifies his spot in the infield with this ball club. A wave and a miss. He's behind 0-2. Again, you've got Jonathan India, who will be the regular second baseman. Kemp trying to land a role where he can help out whenever he can. So Landon Knack, 2 outs, nobody on, and a 1-2 pitch. The Dodgers have a lot of depth at AAA. And Knack part of that as he strikes out Kemp. Kemp goes down on strikes for the second time. 2 runs come in on a hit. And we'll go to the 5th. 3-0 Cincinnati.
My French toast sticks are back starting.
'24 season ticket memberships are now on sale. All memberships include exclusive access to opening day, postseason tickets, exclusive member-only events, team store discounts, and so much more. Visit Dodgers.com/membership for the details. 3-0 Cincinnati. Going to the 5th inning. Here's Buck Farmer. 71 bullpen appearances for Farmer last year. Facing James Outman. Dodgers are looking for their first hit tonight. So far, they have been held hitless. Outman with a swing and a miss.
Just pulled off the ball a little bit. And that's all it takes.
0-2 now from Buck Farmer. Yeah, he struck him out. Seventh Dodger to strike out in the game.
Something off that breaking ball and the changeup right there. So it had been 15 strikeouts combined in the game.
Yeah. Pitch and catch. Pitch inside to Chris Taylor. Buck Farmer, Georgia Tech. He'd been with the Tigers too for quite a while in his career before coming to the Reds in 2022. Two balls and no strikes to Chris Taylor. A little wrinkle on that pitch. That's the same one that he just got Outman with. Two one. Down to third. That's charged by Candelario. And he's got Taylor. Two down.
Looked like a simple play, but one of the things that Candelario did is that he made sure that he collected his feet underneath him in order to make the throw. Looked like he thought initially about making the throw on the run. Now watch him. He'll have it thinking, no, I'm going to collect my feet, get underneath, get something on the throw.
Gavin Lux 0 for 1. Bounced out back to the starting pitcher Graham Ashcraft in the second inning. And 1 to Gavin. That's foul pass first.
Farmer's coming in. He's throwing some strikes.
Got to be ready. Strike 3 called. You call it, Mo. He's throwing strikes. He struck out 2. A 10-pitch inning for Buck Farmer as he retires the side in order halfway home here in Cincinnati.
At LA.
3-0 Cincinnati. Folks enjoying the night out on the grass hill out here at Goodyear Ballpark. Landon Knack back out there for another inning, facing the left-handed hitting Jake Fraley, the right fielder. First ball swinging, fouls it away. So it's always nice to come over here and see the Reds folks. Chris Welsh just came in, former pitcher, and he is one of the television analysts for the Reds. Just popped in and said hello. Saw Jeff Brantley earlier today. former pitcher, radio analyst, and occasionally in years past, Marty Brennaman would jump in here, the retired Hall of Fame broadcaster. Heard from George Grand tonight, longtime TV broadcaster of the Reds, one of the all-time greats. Here's Fraley striking out, and Knack has his second strikeout. The one thing about Landon last year, and the way that pitchers were used in AAA, he was the only member of the Oklahoma City staff to complete 7 innings in any game last year. He only started to get through a 7-inning outing. De La Cruz turning around, batting left-handed against the right-hander. 1 ball and 1 strike now. You can think of a lot of ways to describe Ellie De La Cruz. Electric is one that really stands out. When he gets on base, or when he hits a ball in the gap and he starts running, it's hard to stop him. Knack strikes him out.
Well, he can go back to the dugout at a much slower pace, and he goes on the base paths, because last year he was the fastest man in baseball at 30.5 feet per second.
Well, 2 down, and Jeimer Candelario will take ball 1.
Marty Brennaman, by the way, gave me one of the great reviews for a restaurant to go to. You and I dropped by there today.
Got a pregame meeting over there today.
So if Marty is tuned in, just let you know that the place is still good.
Very good.
I asked Marty, as a matter of fact, I said, how does a guy from Cincinnati know where a good Mexican food place is? I said, that's like asking a guy from Oklahoma to recommend a seafood place.
Candelario hits it in the air to center after an Outman, and he makes the catch. A much better inning for Landon Knack there. 3 up and 3 down with 2 punch-outs. On to the 6th, and the Dodgers looking for a hit. Cincinnati 3 and the Dodgers nothing. Top of the 6th inning. The starting pitcher tonight, James Paxton. Pretty good outing, and he caught up with Kirsten in the media moments ago.
It feels good, you know, just timing things up. Felt a little bit like things were not clicking out there, but you know, felt good about where we're at, and kind of right where I should be right now.
Especially after having like a full season last year, did you expect your body to feel any different this spring? And is there anything you've been sort of doing to sort of maintain for the second half of the season this year?
No, just kind of got those innings last year, which I think was good to build into this year. I'll be ready to throw more innings this year. Body feels really good, so ready to go.
When you look at last year, it almost seemed like you had two different seasons, before trade deadline, after trade deadline. How do you sort of reflect on last year and what you sort of took out of it?
Yeah, last year I felt really good. Towards the end, I just kind of got a little burnt out. It was really just the last 3 starts that I kind of was didn't have much left in the tank, and I think I gave up like 19 runs and not very many innings. But yeah, I felt really good last season. Kind of put in a good bulk of work and building towards this year.
When you say burnt out, physically or mentally?
Yeah, physically. It's just been like 2.5 years since I pitched innings, and been in the big leagues. So I just felt like I kind of reached a point where my body was just a little bit burnt out.
What's it been like working with Mark and Connor so far? Is there anything that they brought to you that maybe is a little bit different than what you've done before?
They've been great. We've been watching some video from 2019 when my mechanics felt really good, and just kind of working on getting back to that.
How much of all the injuries over the years sort of prevented you from finding that groove, especially over these last few?
I don't know. I feel like I've kind of found it last year a little bit, especially with the fastball. The breaking balls were a little tougher to find last year, but so far in camp, my breaking ball's been feeling better. So I'm looking forward to finding that pitch this year.
I know there was a lot of speculation before the trade deadline. Was that a distraction for you at all last year? It seemed like in Boston everything's a little bigger, but
yeah, not really. It's part of the game, and I knew it was a possibility, but ended up staying there and had a good experience in Boston.
What are you sort of hoping to get out of this year? New team, new league?
Yeah, new team, new league. A lot of expectations for this team. I'm just looking forward to being a part of it and doing the best I can to help us win.
How did you improve your fastball and curveball?
How do I improve it this offseason? I just was focusing on getting my arm kind of going in the back. Sometimes I can get kind of stuck on the backside. So I was just kind of trying to get my arm up in the back so I can get on top of my pitches. And I felt like in some bullpens this spring I'd be able to find that with my breaking ball. Curveball is good tonight, cutter not so much. But, you kind of have nights like that.
What was sort of working so well in the first half last year? I assume you want to try to bring that full year.
Yeah, the fastball was working really good last year. Felt like I was able to find my velocity with that pitch, and that was big for me. I was able to use my breaking stuff as needed, but I'm looking forward to, using the breaking stuff a bit more this year. I feel like I'm in a better spot with it.
Feels like he's in a better spot. James Paxton, after his first start with the Dodgers tonight, said the curveball was good, the cutter not so much, but what's more important for him is that he's healthy and he had a regular off season. And interesting thought too, Mo, talking about how he said he was burned out at the end of last year. He gave up 19 runs in his last 3 starts because he hadn't pitched in bulk for a long period of time. So he was still trying to get his body ready for a full season.
Yeah, the muscles just fatigued.
He is off to a good start so far this year after a regular offseason. Padlo couldn't hold up. So Padlo at the plate. Chris Owings has struck out. 1 down, nobody on.
Tim, that's why everybody keeps their eye also on Gavin Lux, who was out all last year. It's not only the muscle memory, but getting back into the playing shape and training the muscles. Hey, look, this is a long trip. 162 games lies ahead.
A little high.
Minimum 162. The Dodgers are hoping and getting ready to have many more than that.
Well, the bar is elevated with the organization because they don't look at 162. They look beyond that year after year after year. And Padlo walks. So the Dodgers with a base runner, still without a hit. And here's Mookie Betts coming to the plate for the 3rd time in the ballgame. He's 0 for 2. He is facing Fernando Cruz, and they have made wholesale changes for the Reds. Every position's been changed out. Austin Wynns, who had a couple of games with the Dodgers last year, doing the catching now. Here's Cruz's pitch, and Mookie will take outside. Hernan Perez at third. Edwin Arroyo at short. Tyler Callahan is at second base. P.J. Higgins is at first. Outfield, Connor Capel, Bubba Thompson, and Rhys Hines left to right. Pretty good cut by Betts there.
Pretty good collision ball into the mask, too.
Mookie Betts last year with men on base was pretty much money. Hit .332. His OPS was over 1,000, and he delivered with men on. Look at his RBI totals from a year ago. They were very good. Obviously, the career high 39 home runs contributed to that. But the RBI totals excellent as he swings and hits a towering fly ball deep left field. This ball's gone, and the first hit for the Dodgers tonight is a 2-run home run for Mookie Betts, and the Dodgers right back in it. It's 3-2.
We saw the swing earlier where you fouled it right back into the catcher's mask. Well, here is a very good swing on top of it. Betts looked like, in his mind, that maybe he didn't get all of it. Yeah, that was his thought.
Well, he got enough of it.
He got enough of it.
Celebrating his first Cactus League home run in 2024.
Yep.
Yeah. 107 RBIs last year, most ever for a hitter in the leadoff spot in the history of Major League Baseball. And he could have another monster year like that this year. Hayward hits this one well to right. Going back on it is Hines, and he's going to make the catch in front of the track.
Tim, another thing about Mookie Betts, we talked so many times, and for good reason we might add, about how he sets the table for the next guy and the next guy and the next guy. He can also empty the table.
Well, when Mookie gets to the plate, he's in scoring position. One of those guys. You know, how many times have you seen him lead off a game or an inning with a home run? He has been marvelous in terms of leadoff home runs. They're talking with Ron Renicky. Ian Rags having a conversation right now. Like to be a fly on the wall there. He's had a number of 3 home run games also. His next one that he has, and I say his next one like he's going to get one, and he might, and he should, because that's sort of the way he plays. But Mookie's next 3 home run game would set another major league record for the most number of those by any player. Got 6 of those right now. And his leadoff home runs, 48 career leadoff home runs and counting. That's tied for the 5th most ever in Major League Baseball. Will Smith out in front of that one. He strikes out, but Mookie does some damage as Mookie goes yard here in Goodyear. He's been swinging a terrific bat so far in the spring, and he gets the Dodgers on the board.
It's Carl's Jr.'s 2 for $6 mix and match hand-breaded chicken tender wrap.
You get the rest of the night off. That was kind of the plan anyway. 3 at-bats for Mookie. Dodgers now down a run, 3-2 after the 2-run shot to left by Betts. Kevin Gowdy out of Santa Barbara now on to pitch. Gowdy, 31 appearances last year in Tulsa. He'll face Connor Capel, the left fielder. Capel's first plate appearance. So Mookie's night is done. That's the script. And a ground ball down to first. Padlo's got it. Gowdy's going to hustle over there and cover the bag, and he's got the first out.
By the way, to back up the truck a little bit, there have now been 20 strikeouts combined in this contest.
That's it. 20.
Greatest going. There might be more to come.
You think so? It's quite possible. Here's Austin Wynns now. He'll hit for Cincinnati against Gowdy. Well, Gowdy was being recruited by UCLA out of Santa Barbara and said, yeah, I'm going to go be a Bruin, but something happened. And that was the fact that the Philadelphia Phillies made him a second-round pick in 2016. So the 26-year-old turned pro back then. Not when he was 26, but when he was out of high school. And never made it to Westwood. Austin Wynns with the Rockies last year. Up in the air to right center. Jose Ramos is in the game in right. He goes out there and makes the catch. And that'll be out number 2. Well, Gowdy has retired the first 2 men he's faced. P.J. Higgins, the first baseman now for Cincinnati, comes up. One thing we know about Gowdy, when he was growing up, played all kinds of sports, but he was pretty flexible. He was really good, and he really enjoyed Taekwondo. Got a black belt. So I'm sure his teammates have probably learned not to mess with him. Or anybody else for that matter. 1-1 is outside. Gowdy against P.J. Higgins, batting in the bottom of the 6th inning of a 3-2 ball game. Tyler Glasnow pitches tomorrow night. We expect to see him go 3 innings as he continues to get stretched out. Glasnow will pitch against Carlos Carrasco of Cleveland. The battle of right-handers. Same time tomorrow night. Ground ball right into the glove of Gowdy. Will toss to first. A very tidy 1-2-3 bottom of the 6th for Kevin Gowdy. Nice job.
That's getskunky.com. Order now.
Be at Dodger Stadium Monday, April 1st for Fernando Valenzuela Jersey Night, sponsored by Bank of America. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions. Along with Rick Monday, Tim Neverett with you. Kirsten Watson here as well. Top of the 7th inning, a 3-2 lead for the Reds, and former Dodger Justin Brule at the plate facing Teoscar Hernandez. These are the kind of at-bats that you want to see Teoscar take here in spring training against lefties. That's one of the things he's going to be doing during the season. You'll see a lot of lefties. Hit .312 against left-handed pitching since 2020. Right-handers, he's hitting him at a .264 clip the last couple of seasons, but lefties are his specialty, I guess. And so these spring training at-bats are important for him to face the southpaw. And he drills this one to left center deep. That ball is going to get down and go to the wall. Hernandez will stop at second with a leadoff double.
Exactly what the doctor ordered. The Dodgers know exactly what they're going to be needing. You know, they potentially will have 6 left-handed batters into their lineup, which means the teams that are stacked up, in particular in the bullpen with lefties, will be busy. And for Hernandez, busy running the bases on the double.
So Hernandez's night is done. He did his job, and now if they run, Liriano will pinch run for him. Liriano in the game, his first trip over from minor league camp this year. Say this year, it's only the 8th game of spring training, but I think you know what I mean.
Well, you have to begin somewhere.
You got to begin somewhere. You know, friends and family of Landon Knack are tuning in. They see 96 at second base, but that's not Landon. He's pitched 2 innings. He's also wearing 96. Liriano gets a lead, and he represents the tying run. James Outman trying to get him around. Outman 0 for 1 with a walk. A strike call. One and 2 to James. During spring training last year, and for a good part of the year last year, James had a pet rock in his locker. He named him Rocka. That was his name. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. And here comes the pitch from Justin Brule. And there's a ground ball toward the middle. That's going to be scooped up by Arroyo. Throws on to first to get him. Kirsten's downstairs with Teoscar Hernandez.
Thanks, Tim. Well, Teoscar, just being a part of this organization, I know this was a choice of yours to come here. How has it been so far this spring?
Great. You know, it's been awesome. I've been around all those guys and the players that used to play here, that are around. Just to learning from the other guys it's been impressive.
We've seen you just building new relationships and getting to know some guys better. Who, if anyone, has kind of stood out to you of getting to know them and becoming better friends with?
I'm trying to get to know everybody. You know, to feel like I'm part of this team for this year. Enjoy the best that I can. But most of the guys been so kind to me, trying to know me. I'm trying to know them, and just to build that relationship before the season starts.
How has it been just working with the hitting coaches here?
Great. They have so many things that you can use to fix your swing, to get better, to know the pitchers, to know what they're gonna use, and it's been incredible the way the communication is between a coach and a player. But yeah, it's been awesome.
Yeah, now we know you are a lefty killer. We saw you get a result right here with the double today.
Yeah,
what's your secret?
I don't know. It's been like that before. I used to get a lot of outs against lefties. Now, when I get to the big leagues, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It just, I see it really good. Always make good contacts, and the results are always positive.
I know that we've been seeing, whether it's been the video of you teaching Shohei a little bit of Spanish. Has he taught you any Japanese?
Yes, but I always forgot.
It's okay.
It's hard. It's hard to keep it up. You know, you use more words in English and Spanish than Japanese. You know? So the ones that I learned, I forgot right away. So
I won't put you under pressure now.
I need to start writing it down.
I love it. Well, look, when it also comes to with this team, everyone talks about just how special this group is. So when you kind of reflect on what this offseason looked like, from my understanding, there were some different offers with multiple years. But to come to this organization, why was that so just important for you?
I mean, the first thing that I want in my free agency is going to a team that wins, that always is involved in playoff, and a good organization that I can learn from it, from the guys, from the coaches, from the manager, from everybody around me. So that was one of the biggest things that I have to make decisions and come here.
Well, we are very excited that you're here with 2 outs. I'm going to send it back up to the booth. But Teoscar, thank you so much. And I know it's been a minute, but I feel like this is another welcome to the Dodgers.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Back up to you guys.
All right, thanks. Teoscar Hernandez.
Thought he had a great point. Talked about the communication between the players and the coaches, and the information that is provided for the players and worked with the coaches in order to get better.
There's Gavin Lux, 2 down. Tying runs at third. He takes a strike. Big sweeper from Justin Brule.
And Hernandez talking about, hey, he turned things around lefties. So did Gavin Lux last year. You know, the first 3 years at the big league level, he had 168 was all against lefties. Well, if you look at 2022, he bumped that up almost 100 points. He hit 263.
1-2.
We hear so much about the comfort level of playing in the Dodgers organization. Not just the information they give you, but how to decipher that information to help you, and as a result of that, you help the team.
1-2 pitch to Lux. That's up high. Well, plus this year, even another tool down here at Camelback Ranch that the hitters can use, the new hitting lab, the new building that has been built behind the clubhouse. They added on to the cage. And, really great facility. Off the end of the bat, that is looped into right center, and it's down for a hit, and the ball game is tied. Gavin Lux, a bloop single. It's now 3-3.
It's not how hard, it's where. And if you make contact, you've got the opportunity. And for combined 21 strikeouts in this ball game, you make contact. And for Lux, right off the end of the bat, but no chance to catch the baseball.
So Lux is out for the rest of the evening. Jake Vogel has come in to pinch run for him. And now Dalton Rushing, the top prospect for the Dodgers, catcher out of Louisville. And we've seen him right from the jump get into games. He has started 1 game as a designated hitter. Great Lakes Loons last year. Check out that on base percentage, over 400. One is fouled away. Think about the at bat though, Mo, from Lux. He was down. Brule had him 0-2. He had him on the ropes. Worked a 2-2 count. There were a couple of purpose pitches that were thrown outside. Got it to even, and then gets a game tying single after starting off 0-2.
Well, there's no question. You know, Gavin Lux is improved as a hitter, and he's been able to repeat it.
Runner goes, and Vogel is in safely with a stolen base. And that pushes a go-ahead run into scoring position.
And steal it off of a left-hander on top of it, and the pitch is out away.
Well, Wynn's kind of got handcuffed too when he received the ball. Vogel taking advantage. 1-2. And he struck him out. And with a breaking ball and rushing. Goes down on strikes, but Lux ties it up. And we go to the stretch time. Middle of the 7th, even at 3.
My French toast.
The Cactus League games roll on tomorrow night, same time right here on Sportsnet LA. The Cleveland Guardians come over to Camelback Ranch to take on the Dodgers. Rick and I'll be there with you for that one. Then Saturday afternoon, the Cubs are in Glendale as well. Steven Gonsalves takes over, left-hander, 29 years of age, born in San Diego. Went to Cathedral Catholic High School there. Ball hit into left field. Travis Swaggerty, the new left fielder, comes on to make the play. But Mike Ford, the designated hitter, a leadoff single against Gonsalves. For the Dodgers. Some other changes to tell you about. Saw Swaggerty out there. Jake Vogel stayed in the game. He's in center. Swing and a miss. Bubba Thompson, the center fielder. Alex Freeland is the new third baseman. Austin Gauthier is at second. And Tyler Lenzano is at first. Chris Oakey catching. In fact, Oakey came in last half inning. Let's see. I think we got them all. Ramos came in an inning or so ago. He's in right. So we got all the changes, Mo.
To this point.
Still a couple innings to go. Third spring outing for Gonsalves. Pitched an inning Monday against the Rockies over in Scottsdale. He walked one, struck out one. The Cubs organization last year, he was all through the minor league system there. Last time he was in the major leagues, to go back to 2021, and he appeared for Boston. 3 games out of the bullpen. And overall, his major league record career is 2-2. Oh, a great stab by Gauthier. About Austin Gauthier, unsigned free agent out of Hofstra. Terrific play.
Had a couple of dandy plays in this one. I mean, he's playing up the middle to begin with, but absolutely perfect timing on that backhanded play.
Well, the more you see him play, and we've seen him a lot in the last week, the more you see him play, the more you like him. Tyler Callahan second baseman now for Cincinnati. Reds play the Diamondbacks tomorrow. Well, as we just told you, the Dodgers will take on Cleveland. And then they go over to Scottsdale Saturday, the Reds do, to take on the Rockies. Finish in surprise against Kansas City over the weekend. 20 days to the opener, Mo. 20 days until the Dodgers and Padres play a game that counts in Seoul, South Korea. March 20th, game 1. And there's ball 4. So Callahan will trot down to first base. 1 out, and now 2 men on, and the go-ahead runs in scoring position.
About to get the top of the order, right fielder number 87, Reese Hines.
Dave Roberts coming up to get the ball. He'll make a mid-inning change. And these are intentional oftentimes in spring training to get a reliever to come in out of the bullpen. Right-hander on the way for the Dodgers.
Yeah!
Dodgers last year 16 major league appearances. This will be his 3rd spring training appearance here in Arizona. Pitched an inning Monday in Scottsdale against the Rockies. Gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, and a home run. Struck out 2. Originally drafted by the Oakland Athletics. So Varland sending his pitch home to Reese Hines, the right fielder. Reese Hines, a big fellow down there. Got to go about 6'5", 6'6". Big cut and a miss. One ball and 1 strike. So some bullpen battles going on, Mo. This time there's a lot of bullpen arms. The Dodgers have been running out there this week. Hines wants his timeout, and he gets it, so Varland's got to wait.
Boy, there's a lot of amateur hitting coaches in the stands tonight.
Strike 3. Varland gets Hines out.
Hines listened to one of the guys that was practicing as an amateur hitting coach and said, hey, you have to swing the bat. Well, he did. The guy forgot to tell him only it strikes.
Only it strikes.
By the way, that's the 23rd punch out of the game combined.
Punch out tally. Edwin Arroyo, shortstop. Is that official or unofficial? It's the official count.
Oh, it's official.
23. I would never doubt your math. Officially official. Here's a foul ball at the plate, and it's 0-2 to Arroyo as Varland tries to put an end to the Cincinnati threat. 3-3 ball game here, bottom of the 7th inning. I know one thing you like about the spring training ballparks is they're smaller and you can hear the fans individually a little better. Swaggerty still drifting, and this ball is going to be off the wall. And Cincinnati is going to play 2. It'll be 5-3 Reds. Well, he had Arroyo on the ropes. 2-strike count. And Arroyo wriggled off the hook with a ball that just kept carrying to left.
It kept carrying. The target was up. That's where the pitch was. Going back and having a little bit of difficulty. Swaggerty kind of drifting back on the ball and not running to the point that he thought the ball was going to come down. It just kept carrying.
Hernan Perez been around a bit. And the pitch to Perez is hitting the air to right. Right there waiting for it is Jose Ramos to make the catch, and Gus Varland victimized on an 0-2 pitch. Gives up 2 runs, and heading to the 8th, it's 5-3 Cincinnati. Five-3 Reds, top of the 8th inning. Right-hander Brooks Kriske comes out of the bullpen. Non-roster invite to spring. Former Yankee and last year with the Royals.
He spent a lot of time just getting the split finger fastball grip before he comes into the set position.
Here's Trey Sweeney. First round pick by the Yankees a couple of years back. He's been getting some significant time at short in the first week of spring training. So far he's impressed. Swing and a miss. So Sweeney facing Kriske. Kriske out of USC. And last year he got to kind of live out a dream a little bit of his, because he did play 4 games for the Orioles. His name is Brooks Kriske, and his dad did indeed name him after Brooks Robinson. And it was always a dream for him to play for the Orioles. And he finally got that opportunity last year. Pitched 4 total innings, gave up 5 hits, struck out 4. 4 appearances for Baltimore.
Yeah, I hear that guy wasn't too bad of a player either. That guy named Brooks Robinson.
Yeah. He held his own down there.
Yeah, he did. Robbed a lot of people of base hits.
Sweeney drills one deep right center field. This ball's gone. Trey Sweeney with a home run brings the Dodgers a run closer. It's 5-4.
Boy, is that a sweet swing. Well, he went down and got it. And Sweeney has had really a lot of playing time so far. Boy, that was a breaking ball. Would have been right through the middle of the goalpost on a field goal. And Sweeney says, you're not throwing me that pitch.
Austin Gother will take a strike now. Sweeney. Sweet stroke. Trying to impress the people here at a new organization for him. He was with Somerset in Double-A last year in the Eastern League. But again, getting a player like Sweeney, that is a result of, the baseball operations department scouting and doing their research and whatnot, because they've done a good job rebuilding depth. The Ohtani signing, the Yamamoto signing, Tyler Glasnow, those were the headline grabbers. But the acquisitions of a lot of players, there's a lot of people behind the scenes in the organization that go out and they find these guys and they say, yeah, we should probably take a look at this and try to find a player like that, get him in the organization. And now Sweeney, he comes in here first year with the Dodgers, first spring with the Dodgers, and he's been getting a lot of time at short. Now makes a big impact with the bat.
Well, we've talked about the scouting a number of times already this spring. But it's scouting and looking and say, well, a player, maybe they don't have the numbers that are eye-popping, but if you see something and say, for example, Frazier with the Dodgers, they bring him over and say, hey, look, here's a pitch. You ever thought about it? He said, no one's ever told me about the cut fastball. Well, it worked. So with Sweeney, there may have been something that said, hey, look, we can refine this. We can work with this.
Right fielder number 81, Jose Ramos.
You never know, the more he develops, always got that target of getting to the big leagues at some point. But again, looking to get into Triple-A and conquer that level. Jose Ramos takes a breaking ball for a strike after Gother struck out. One out for the Dodgers here in the 8th. Ramos had a homer Saturday in Tempe against the Angels, and it was a bomb. This guy's got some strength.
Yes, he does. The Dodgers have had a lot of strength in the 8th inning so far in the games that they've played. This is game number 8. They've scored 16 runs combined now in the 8th inning of games that they played. That's the most in Cactus League or Grapefruit League. And those are primarily, Tim, the younger players that Dave Roberts and company are really looking at closely.
Yeah. It's not just for the guys who are going to be playing every day to get ready. That's a big part of spring training, but it's also to continue to develop in the organization and get those guys ready to play at either another level or the next level. And for a lot of these players, these aren't the only opportunities they get to play in games. There'll be, B games in the mornings, usually 10 o'clock starts on the backfields. Either they'll go to another complex and play against a team or two. All kinds of stuff going on around spring training that people don't see other than these games. Ramos swinging and missing.
The games that are hard in spring training is that B game. That one that starts at 10 a.m.
Why is that so hard?
Well, your body just isn't ready at 10 a.m. We're creatures of habits. 10 o'clock in the morning in spring training, you may be taking batting practice, but no, you're going live pitching and people trying to get you out if you're a hitter.
Chris Oakey, 3 for 4 so far in the spring with a home run. He swings, hits the ball well to left, but it's going to hang up there for Connor Capel, who makes the catch, and the side retired. But Trey Sweeney with a solo home run makes it a 1-run ball game. Trey Sweeney's first Cactus League home run makes it a 5-4 game. Cincinnati in front. And TJ McFarland is now on for the Dodgers to pitch the bottom of the 8th inning. For McFarland, his 3rd appearance of the spring. One day had a hitless inning. 1 strikeout against the Rockies over in Scottsdale. Last year he was with the Orioles and the Mets. Connor Capel will lead off against him, so it's a left-on-left matchup. And looking at left-handed hitters in Reds uniforms, there's one that we became accustomed to seeing year after year, game after game, and it's just odd to know that he's not going to be in that uniform this year. That's Joey Votto.
Yep.
You know, Votto was there for what, 14 seasons?
17
seasons. Well, he had 3 seasons that weren't as good as he wanted, so 17 total seasons.
Well, and Votto, did you see his quote on Tuesday?
No. What did he say Tuesday?
Well, after the 26th strikeout of the game, something that Votto did not do very often. Walked a lot. Got a lot of base hits. A good pitch by McFarland too. You could have hit, just go ahead and close them out. Well, for Votto, he's resorted to making threats on Instagram, declaring, and Votto, the guys of the Reds understand he had a sense of humor.
Yeah.
But he said, you know, the phone's not ringing. He's a free agent. He would like to play. And he said, hey, wait a minute. I'm sick of this. And if someone doesn't sign me, I'm not going to put my shopping carts away. So he says he's going to turn into an angry man. If someone doesn't call soon, he's just not going to put the shopping carts away anymore.
They're going to miss him around Cincinnati, around that clubhouse. Austin wins to center and deep, going back after it and making the over-the-shoulder catch is Jake Vogel. Oh, he just took off and sprinted underneath the baseball. Great job by Vogel for the second out of the bottom of the 8th.
This is the difference in a play that we took that went over the head of left field. You run to the spot, you think the ball is going to go down. You don't drift back with it. If you run to the spot, then if the ball alters, and sometimes with the rotation, there's no wind at all tonight. But boy, that just flat out running it down.
First baseman P.J. Higgins takes a strike. Just on Votto too. Like he was an on-base machine. Took a lot of walks, had a ton of doubles. And sometimes he changes his approach where he'd choke up a lot, crowd the plate. Other times he wouldn't as much. But he was going to have an impact in the game one way or the other. He's a good defensive first baseman. So one way or another, he was going to have an impact in a game, whether he got a hit or not.
Exactly. So he also said, tongue-in-cheek, because he put up with a video where he propelled the shopping cart somewhat towards the return area in the parking lot of the supermarket he was going to, but somewhat lazily did it.
Ground ball to Sweeney. He takes care of it, and it's a tidy 1-2-3 inning. A clean inning for T.J. McFarland. He retires the Reds in order. Head to the ninth. Dodgers down a run. Five 5-0 for Cincinnati, 4-4-1 for the Dodgers. A last chance for the Dodgers to try to tie this one up or get ahead. As we go to the top of the ninth inning, Brett Kennedy, former Padre, just a little bit with the Reds last year, mostly in Louisville and AAA. He is out of Fordham. And he will face Lorenzo, first baseman. And he goes first ball swinging, chops it toward the mound, and that's the first out of the ninth inning. 1-3 put out, one pitch and one away for Kennedy. Travis Swaggerty had a difficult time with the ball hit to left field tonight. Swaggerty, the former Pittsburgh Pirates farmhand, came up through their system, was with them until AAA was his last stop in the organization last year. So he was a veteran of that level. Swaggerty takes strike one. 0-1 to Travis Swaggerty. Now Kennedy's pitch coming home. Strike two.
Nothing tentative about that swing.
Kennedy quickly into the stretch, and the pitch coming. fouled off. One out, top of the ninth. Dodgers got a 2-run home run from Mookie Betts tonight and a solo shot from Trey Sweeney. And tomorrow night, Cleveland comes over to Camelback Ranch for a game at the same time. Shohei Ohtani and Kike Hernandez expected in the lineup for the Dodgers tomorrow night. Tyler Glasnow will pitch. Expected to go 3 innings. Carlos Carrasco on the other side for the Guardians. So it should be a good ball game tomorrow night. Hope you join us for it. And a bouncer down to first. And that's another put out at the bag. Kennedy goes over to cover. And the Dodgers down to their final out. And Alex Freeland, the switch hitter, playing third base. The bat left-handed. 240 last year in Great Lakes with the Loons. 9 home runs. First pitch to Freeland. Strike call. James Paxton made the start tonight. 2 pretty solid innings, 4 strikeouts, 32 pitches. He looked good. We heard from him during the broadcast. And the 0-1. Now down to the last strike tonight. The 0-2 pitch coming to Alex Freeland. There it is. And that's into right field, a base hit. His first hit in the big league exhibition games. Keeps it alive. The tying run is aboard. And Jake Vogel at the plate represents the possible go-ahead run. Well, good to see him getting at bat after that great catch he made in center field.
Yeah, and he had to struggle. He's down 0-2. And a big smile after he got the base hit and gets safely to first base.
He's checking the step in the dive right now.
1 ball, no strikes. As Vogel waits. Here comes the pitch. Yeah, swing and a miss. All the folks getting ready for the post-game studio. They're right there where they're supposed to be, sitting at the set.
You think?
I think so. I would count on it. And a ground ball to third. That is the ball game. Well, the Dodgers drop one tonight. They go to 5-2-1. While the Reds go to 4-1-1. A 5-4 final tonight. Cincinnati wins, but again saw some good work from Mookie Betts. James Paxton, that was a positive debut for him. And still plenty of good things to see as the Dodgers tune up for the 2024 season. Final score, Cincinnati 5 of the Dodgers 4. Tomorrow on Sportsnet LA, the Dodgers face the Guardians at 5 o'clock. Pre-game show is on the air at 4:30. Stay tuned for Access Sportsnet Dodgers. For Rick Monday, I'm Tim Neverett. See you tomorrow night.